eyes crawl to a table. Paralyzed by pairwise dice, then attend to this heaven slice of an angel wrapped in skin. Throw dice and woes of life. Love deprived, look at her vibe. What's the meaning of life? One subjective paradise. Crystal chandeliers, motives reflected. Off the mirrors appear clear, grinning from ear to ear. Craving and raving and grain, rekindle the flame. Closer she draws near. Stay there, remove your underwear, shove it somewhere over there. In paradise, we know our purpose.
Boom. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of the Unpopular Hour. We are adding some things. You can see that it's a little crazy right now with me trying to figure out my camera. I had to get a new camera, so I'm trying to figure that out. We're going to get there little by little, but it takes some time to try to get everything working the way it should. But we are going to get there. We have some good news too as well. Might as well throw this up there. If you want to Skype us, you can Skype me at 405-551-8300 anytime. And if you can type that now, unless you put your name in there, I'm not going to know who you are. So if you'll put your name in there, you'll pop up. I'll know. If not, it'll just pop up with a number and your question. So we're finally trying to get this working. I think it will, but today is going to be our first test show to get that up and running. So that's what happens with live stuff. You know, you work it out and we will get it done and go as we can. But we're excited about that. Like I said, if you want to Skype us, you can for any questions during this show as well as tonight during the Thunder game against the Hawks. And of course, that's the 7 o'clock tonight. So that's on After the Storm. If you want to do that, by all means, go ahead. Sorry, this weather is just beating me up in my sinuses, but it is what it is. Like I said, the Hawks are coming to the game, coming to the Oklahoma City tonight. Of course, our hometown guy, Trae Young, is going to be here. So, but the Thunder and the Hawks I always play. Usually Trey just kills us, and that's part of my keys to the game tonight. My Thunder keys. We need to get off to a good start. If we can, we need to keep Trey out of the lane if at all possible. I don't know how well that's going to work for us, but we're going to try our best to keep him out of the lane. That's going to help us. Play within ourselves and limit our open looks. And a lot of times what happens is Trey's killed us is simply because we've been trying to keep him out of the lane. He starts getting going and he starts making, he does a great job of shooting those teardrops and floaters. And when he gets going then it also helps his outside game. And he just loves killing Oklahoma City every time he sees us. It's not our fault because we're not like we are now, because I do believe if we had a top 2 picks that we would have taken Trey in the draft when it came along back then. I do believe we would have snatched him up back then if we had the same opportunities that we have now. So it's not our fault, Trey, that we did not draft you, because I know we would have. And I don't know if you necessarily would rather be playing Oklahoma City than Atlanta, GA. Atlanta, there's a lot more to do than in Oklahoma City, but at the same time, this is your hometown with your mom, your dad, and your little brother here. So that being said, I'm looking forward to the Thunder game tonight. The Thunder have done great thus far thus far. We are 23-24, and of course the Hawks are 24-24. So they're right there at 500. Excuse us, and we are just below 500. And I have talked about this before, how the over-under in the Thunder was 23.5. And we're already at 23 wins. Now, I predicted 31-34, 31-33 wins, and 40 I thought could be, if we really, really played well, we could get up to 40 wins. That was just me, and everybody thought I was crazy when I said that. but it looks like that I'm going to be right there or pretty close to that number. So, when it comes to basketball, I pretty much know what I'm talking about. I'm going to give you as much insight as I possibly can. Of course, on tonight on the After the Storm, New York Oklahoma City post-game Thunder analysis show, which we will have tonight after the game. You can watch it here on Facebook, or you can go to YouTube, do After the Storm, search After the Storm dash OKC Thunder, it'll pop up, or you can go to, well, I might as well pull it up here so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. It makes it a little easier when it is up here on the screen, because a lot of times what I need to get my Stream Deck working again so I can just push this up and it automatically comes on. But anyway, After the Storm, MC Sports Network, the Unpopular Hours, kind of, you can see that everything's kind of all messed up. I've got to fix it to where everything goes the way it needs to. But you can do After the Storm, your Oklahoma City post-game analysis, the Unpopular Hour, of course, which is what you're watching now with Matt Clark, which are all on YouTube. And remember, you got to search that, the Unpopular Hour, Matt Clark, After the Storm, OKC Thunder. And then, or if you just want to, if you don't want to sign in and go through all the YouTube for all you older people, you can always just go to www.mcsportsnetwork.com and you can watch all of the shows from there if that's what you want to do. And it doesn't matter, because either way you can do that. But I prefer that you go ahead and you go ahead and hit the subscribe, like, and notifications button, because as we grow with that, then what we're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to go YouTube and you're going to be able to come on and you're going to be able to ask questions and do all that right there live, and your name will pop up. So those are the things that we're going to do. Plus, we are going to start at some point, maybe 1 or 2 games, we're going to do kind of a live Thunder game while the Thunder game is going on. We're going to try to do a live thing where we're watching the Thunder game at the same time, doing a live feed where we're discussing, where we're talking about what's going on during the game while you're watching it, instead of what you're getting now. You'll be able to get a very more detailed of what's happening, not necessarily biased about how we're getting cheated. And like a lot of times, when you look at the stats, I mean, let's face it, the Thunder are getting beat up a lot of times by the referees. But what does that got to do with us reaching? What do I talk about? Quit reaching. I mean, stop reaching. And then here, when you look at our stats and what happened, the box score from the Nuggets the other night. And by the way, the Nuggets got held. We're going to do our NBA scores in a minute. The Nuggets got held to back-to-back games under 99, under 100, which they had went, what was it? The Nuggets, where's my notes at? That's my Mavs notes. But anyway, the Nuggets had gone, I don't know how many games, 16 straight games, I think, or something like that, without scoring 100 points, scoring 100 points, and we broke that. We snapped their 9-game winning streak, their 16-game home winning streak, and their streak of, I forget what it is now, so many games in a row they had scored at least 100. But the Thunder, of course, won on 199. The Nuggets, we held them to 10 for 28 for three-point shooting, which they're a very, very good three-point shooting team, and 43% field goal percentage. Outscored their bench 30-22. So the Thunder are now rolling. We won 7 out of our last 10 games, 8 out of our last 11 games, I think is what it is. So, or 8 out of our last 10. So we're doing really, really good. We continue to go. We're growing. We went 2-2 on our last road trip. And that's a sign of a team that's slowly starting to get better. But as I've said many times, this is Josh and SGA's second year playing together. This is Josh's second year in the league. Next year, we're going to make that jump, or we should. And we'll find out how good Chet is or how valuable he is to us next year when we do make that additional jump. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he is going to bring. Now, I don't think it's going to be a lot, but we shall see what happens. Yesterday in NBA scoring, the Bulls lost to the Pacers 116, 110 in Indiana. Indiana's one of those weird teams. I mean, you just never know what you're going to get out of the Pacers. I mean, we were up 17-1 to start out with them. They came and ran back, but of course, we ended up finishing them off. But you never know what you're going to get with that Pacer team. They're just weird and hard to figure out. The Cavs and the Knicks winning in MSG last night against the Cavs, 105-103. Celtics losing to the Heat in Miami, 95-98. And we talked about the challenges of playing in Miami because there's so many obstacles and so many distractions. You want to fly in, you want to eat, you want to play right away, and you want to leave town because you don't want to get there the night before. Nuggets, Pelicans. The Nuggets, like I said, once again, held under 100 points, winning 99-98 over the Pelicans, the Nuggets. The Wizards, 127. The Mavs, 126. The Hornets got smashed by the by the Suns by 31. And the Hornets, they're up and they're down. They're up and they're down. And with that roster, you would think they'd be a lot better than what they are and give better showings. But then there's times that they're all up in your grill. And then, of course, the Mavs they're just faltering little by little. I'm going to have to take them out of my top 10 next week when I do my NBA power rankings. I just can't continue to leave them in there. They're going to have some help with Luka because they just don't have that second score. They're going to need that. Clippers and the Lakers. The Clippers, 133. The Lakers, 115. I was seeing a story today talking about whether the Lakers are wasting LeBron. LeBron went to the Lakers for one simple reason, because he knows he wasn't going to be able to make that money to be a billionaire as he could. But he had the team. They won the chip. They were rolling. They had one of the best teams, and he blew it up by one Westbrook and by one Carmelo. They had a good team, and they were rolling, and that was it. This is his decision. So I get tired of these people coming up with all this narratives, and they're like, well, he's not the GM. Yes, he is. He is in the front office. When you got a guy like that and they want somebody, you go and you get them the player that they want. That's what you do. So I don't want to hear that nonsense. I'm tired of it. He wanted Westbrook. He wanted Carmelo. He did not want Kyle Kuzma. He did not want that team. So they got rid of everybody, KCP. They got rid of them for him. And now this is what he's stuck with. So this is his own making. He didn't have to re-sign his contract. He didn't have to do that, but he did. He didn't have to re-up. Why? Because he's going to put the pressure on the Lakers to sign Bronny because he wants to play with his son. And Bronny did play pretty well the other day, but now whether you're going to work or waste a draft pick, don't even know. I wouldn't do that. Now, would I take him if he's not drafted? Sure. Hey, you come into training camp, kind of like Austin Reeves did. Hey, come on. We'll see what you got. But as far as me drafting Bronny, no. If the Lakers, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Not from what he's shown me so far, but he does have 1 year to prove himself in the G League if that's what he chooses to do, or come to college. It all depends. If he goes to college, it's going to depend on where he goes. Because if he goes to the wrong school, then he's going to get exposed and he's going to be on the bench. And so many of these high school kids that said they're ready for NBA never make it. And it's simply because they're not old enough. I think that every college kid should go for 2 years. That's what I think. Go for 2 years. 1 year not old, like when NFL, they have to be 3 years. Now, a lot of it is because they're not men. They're still boys. They're still not physically able. Now, there are some people are freaks like a Adrian Peterson and somebody like that. I mean, yeah, those kind of guys can go, but you're still 19 years old. You're going against 30-year-old men, 28, 30-something-year-old men. Those are grown-ass men. They're physically and mentally at their peaks as a man. So that's just stupid you're even trying to think that. It makes no sense. But I do believe that the NBA should make them go for 2 years. Now, I know this all in the agents. The agents, because they realize how many kids would have went straight to the league from high school if they hadn't put that 1 year ban in there. Now it needs to be 2 years. You're doing a disservice to these kids. Oh, well, they're making money now in NIL. So, hey, you're making your money, man. I make them go to college for 2 years. Let them get stronger, more physical, ready to go. Do anybody else believe Chet didn't need another year in college? We all know that. Jay Will needed another year in college. Okay, there's guys who need now. Paulo Benchera, no, he didn't. He was physically, he's one of those freaks. But for the most part, these guys need at least 2 years of college, but they go right after 1 year. But NIL, you don't have to do that anymore. They're getting paid in college, so that's not a really a not about the money anymore. You can't really say that. I think it's by the well-being, make them a little older, make them where they're a little bit more mature, where they can handle it. Now, NBA games tonight, I should say. The Pacers and the Magic play at 6 o'clock. The Pacers at Orlando, 6 p.m. tonight. The Nets at the Sixers tonight, 6:30. That'll be a really, really good game. The Wizards playing at the Rockets. I mean, has anybody? I mean, if I lived in Houston, that would be a tough game for me to go watch, but I probably would simply because it is NBA game, so I probably would go and take little G just for that simple aspect. Hawks and the Thunder, like I said, here at Paycom, I need to get back to being the Thunderdome again. I'll be glad when it does. I'll be happy. But that's gonna be a great game. Like I said, I put the keys up earlier in the show. You got to keep Trey out of the lane. You got to try to focus on taking care of the basketball. In other words, play within yourselves. Don't try to get all out of whack. My guy Randy Wright, the commander, was talking about how he thinks the team plays better without SGA in there because they move. And I said, now, the one thing I will agree with him, the ball movement is way, way better without SGA in there. But I don't think we're a better team without him. No way. Not on a consistent basis. Every so often, yeah. But we just do not have the talent. He is the one true guy that we got to have. That's got to have the ball in his hand. Uh, Nuggets at the Bucks. The Nuggets ought to be a great game. They are on fire. They should be fully loaded tonight with the Joker, Nikola Jokic, and Michael Porter. So they should be at full strength tonight in Milwaukee against the Bucks. T Wolves and the Pelicans. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with that game with the Pelicans, and if Drew's favorite left-hander is going to be ready to play. The Grizzlies at the Warriors tonight ought to be interesting to see what happens with that. The Raptors at the Kings, and remember the Grizzlies and Warriors don't like each other, so that's a nice little budding rivalry if you really want to call it that. I think it's a more of a thing where we don't like each other because of last year and the last couple of years, really. I think that's what it is more than anything. Raptors at the Kings. I think the Kings will handle their business at home in Sacramento. Jazz at the Blazers. Ooh, two teams that are kind of fighting their way coming up this year, trying to figure out uh, how to continue to mesh the different talents, and then of course Dame Time, however you want to call it, whatever you want to call the man. He's got to step up and not blow 25-point leads against teams like the Lakers. And then last but not least, the Spurs are at the Lakers, and hopefully the Lakers get AD back. That's what I heard. We shall see if that truly is the case. I'm not sure if AD is actually going to be back, but that's what they're saying. He could play tonight, and the Lakers sorely need them because right now, Drew Henthorn of HuskerDrewPicks.com, Randy Wright, the commander, president of YNB, is kicking your butt with the Thunder and you guys' bet. They have a bet who's going to have the better record, the Thunder or the Lakers. So right now, the Thunder are in the lead right now, so we shall see. Which is that's still the funniest thing ever to me. But anyway, we want to thank our sponsors, Collaborative Logic, and especially them. And thanks, uh, Brandon, for your help yesterday and today, getting us up and running and getting us ready to do our Skype. So when people can call in on Skype, we can get that squared away. So if anybody Skypes me, I can go ahead and hook them up with information, or they can text us. So I'm excited about having the Skype in there. Let me see, make sure that Skype is still in. Making sure that I'm up and ready now that, yep, I've got Skype to go. So if you guys want to text us, remember, if you want to text us at Skype, and I'll know when you do, uh, Let me pull up the number. Oh, excuse me. But anyway, thank you, Brandon, for getting that done. Sorry, guys, kind of got lost there for a second. You can contact Mark Long at SRB in the engineering, surveying, and planning, and they're doing some work there at their place right now. Is there today? Oak Grove Trucking and my guy Jose Fierro. If you have any big rocks or dirt to be moved, he is the man with his dump trucks. And of course, Max and Greg, Nafy, appreciate my bros and what they do for me, sponsoring everything we do at NAFCO. And then last but not least, Y&B, family owned and operated since 1912. They are the bank that makes things happen. Love what they do. Love what they do for me. And remember, they are also our lead sponsors as far as sponsoring our real broadcasts of minority women and women-owned businesses in the Oklahoma City area, as well as if you have any needs for any loans, you can contact them or pre-qualify online at www.ynbok.com. That's www.ynbok.com. If you have any commercial or personal loans, they are the people to holler at. You can go in and see Nathan Taylor, Joe Horn, or Carson Wright, or you can do it online and pre-qualify, which I suggest. Just pre-qualify, get all squared away, walk in there, sign the note, and move on, get your check, or have them deposited into your account if you have one there. So today, now we're not going to be joined by my guy, Drew Henthorn of HuskerDrewPicks.com. He's taking care of the girls tonight, Amelia and Faith, because I'm sure they're out of school today because of a snow day, so he's there taking care of that. But he did send us in his picks, and we will be joined by my guy, Ben Dillman. Whenever Ben comes on, I know he'll be popping on here soon. But anyway, we will be joined by Ben Dillman. High Stick Harry, as Drew has nicknamed him. I don't know how much Ben likes that. But anyway, High Stick Harry. Lakers -7 today, of course, is who he's got against the Spurs. T-Wolves +3. We shall see what that's going to be. The Grizzlies at Golden State. He's taking the over in that game. It's interesting he's not taking a team one or the other. I thought it's interesting. But yeah, I agree with him. It should be a high-scoring game with those two. Hawks -1 -1.5 over the Thunder. The Thunder are +1.5 dogs tonight. So we'll see how that happens. I do believe the Thunder can come back and take care of business and win at home, especially if they do my keys that I had established earlier. In college basketball, Drew has San Diego State -7, St. John's and Creighton. He's taking the over 153. And, of course, our boy Trey Alexander is playing at Creighton, formerly of Heritage Hall High School, and Steve, of course, his dad, Stevie, is the head coach, or Steve is the head coach at Douglas High School right now. And the Trojans are rolling. We're going to be going and doing one of our shows live from Douglas here in the next few weeks. Alabama -11. And then rounding it off, of course, his Cornhuskers. Husker Drew had to put his Cornhuskers in there at +2.5. He has to throw those bad boys in there. You just have to do it, don't you, Drew? Crack me up with you and your Husker Drew picks and your stuff. Anyway, in Big 12 basketball and scores, Monday and yesterday, KU lost again to Baylor, 69-75. KU has now lost 3 in a row. I don't know if Bill's ever lost 3 in a row. I have to think about that. Oklahoma State, of course, lost to Texas after winning a couple games in a row, went on the road and lost to Texas by 14. Hard place to play there at UT. OU, of course, lost to TCU at TCU. I don't really like their gym at all, but clearly OU didn't either lose them by 27, and they're better than that. TCU is not a 27 points better than OU. I don't see it, but of course they beat Kansas by 23, so maybe they are. Maybe they're hitting their stride halfway through the Big 12 or season, halfway through. So, and then of course rounding it off, Iowa State beat Kansas State at home. And that's the thing you have to do. You got to win your home games, okay? And you got to sneak a couple on the road. But when you're a top team, you've got to win on the road. You cannot afford to drop games. But I can testify that Iowa State is one of the hardest places to play. One of the, like I've said, I have never won at Iowa State, so that'll tell you something about that. It's weird. Like I've talked to Drew, we've talked about that before. Is that how I can go to Lawrence and win? How I can win at Norman? How I can win at Missouri? How I can win at Kansas State? But you can't win at Iowa State. You can't win one at Colorado. Could not win at Nebraska. So Nebraska and Iowa State could not win at either one of those places for whatever reason. And I'm joined by my guy, High Stick Harry. What's up, my brother?
What's going on, Matty? How you doing, buddy?
Man, just back on the air now, just trying to figure out how to set everything up once we get it all done. That's my next step is figuring that out. But little by little, we are getting there. What's happening with you? How's your day going?
Going pretty well. Just ran some errands this morning. Took the dog to the vet. Had a couple different things to do, and then that was about it.
Okay. Well, I put the thing up there in Skype. I don't know how to put it up in the screen yet. I'll figure that out at some point. But like I was telling everybody, we do have a Skype where people can Skype us for questions. If you have any, you can Skype text us at 405-551-8300. Now, you have to put your name in there. We won't know who you are. It'll just pop up as a number, and we won't know who it is. So if you have a question or you want to ask us anything, by all means, go ahead and do that, and we'll be able to do that right away. So,
Perfect.
but how's your day? What you been doing, brother? How's everything going?
Everything's been going good. Just getting everything settled back in around the house, all that kind of stuff. Everybody thought that storm was going to be a little wild. It obviously turned out to be nothing. So yeah, pretty much just getting everything back in order around the house.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be more than that too, as well. But hey, let's not gripe. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Let's not. I mean, you know what I mean. We got it going, and we did what we needed to do. So let's not.
Yeah, it was a little too warm a couple days before for anything bad to happen, so I wasn't too worried about it. But everybody kept saying, like they always do.
Yep, that's facts. That's facts. Man, I was excited about our new number though, and it's pretty easy to remember 551-8300. So it's gonna be excited to see that when people. It's gonna be exciting to see that. So I'm pumped up about that. I know you are too. Whenever we get
Yes,
that
sir.
going. Whenever we get that going. I talked about tonight. The Thunder are playing. The Thunder are playing. Excuse me. This weather is just beating me up. I'm freezing my butt off in this house.
I can't imagine.
But anyway, I was talking about the Thunder tonight at the Hawks. Trae Young is coming to town. I don't know if you're even going to watch it tonight. I guess. Well, you have to work, don't you? This Wednesday?
Yeah, I'll be working tonight.
Oh, okay. Well, I won't.
It'll be on though. I'll get to catch a little bit up here and there.
Yeah, when you're rolling through between that and your hockey.
Yep.
And speaking of hockey, we have a full lid last night at hockey, brother.
Yeah, I believe we had 11 games last night. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, we did. You had the Panthers and the Penguins. The Penguins won 7-6 in OT.
Yeah, both goalies were absolutely brutal last night. It was Swiss cheese and net. I mean, so just shoot the puck, it's going to go in. But it was a big win for the Penguins, still trying to make the playoffs here.
Yep. The Wild losing to the Lightning 4-2.
Yep, this game was an awesome watch. Very physical from start to finish. There was a couple scrums, in the first minute, and then there was a couple fights after that. Good goaltending on both sides. Some, play of the night kind of saves on both ends. But it was easily the game that had a playoff feel for it for sure.
Yep. Then you got your Bruins. They're just rolling, bro. 4-2 over the Canadiens.
Yep, nothing beating those Habs in the Center Bell Arena. Or Bell Center Arena, my apologies. It was 6 in a row for the Bees, though. But Pass had 4 points. He had a point on every goal. Wasn't much of a contest. Bruins took it easy.
Yeah. And then the Kings. How about those Kings? 4-3 in OT over the Flyers.
Yeah, it was a huge win for them. Still trying to hold these Oilers off and the Flames and the Kraken, everybody in that division right there. The Flyers continue to play hard. Tough to play against night in, night out. I think they're going to be that way just based on their coaching, but they're still going to be a pain in the butt.
Yeah, they are. Okay, then you have the Red Wings 3-2 over the Sharks.
Yeah, this was kind of the game, one of the games where you're kind of just like, not too excited about it. There wasn't much going on. I expected the Wings to win by a lot more, but they won at OT, so that's good.
Yep, that is. Okay, then you have the Devils 3-2 over the G Knights.
Yep. Dougie Hamilton scored the last two for the Devils, one to tie it up, and then the OT winner. He had a nice little pass from Jack Hughes off his. He was falling down, threw it off his he was on his stomach. Shot it over to the side. It was a cool little goal there. But other than that, not too much. Good win for the Devils. They're starting to roll again, looking strong.
Yep. Then you have, of course, the Jets and the Predators. The Predators 3-1 over the Jets.
Yep, another win for Saros and net for the Predators. Been talking about it for a couple weeks. He continues to carry this team, and they're going to be looking like a playoff team if he keeps going this way.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
Drew's Blues. They got beat last night, 5-3.
No, I actually took the Blues last night. I thought they were going to beat the Sabres. The Sabres run it back to back, so I thought they were traveling to St. Louis, so I figured maybe there'd be something in there. But Tage Thompson's still too good. He had 3 points. He had his 33rd goal, putting him fifth in the league. So they had just another great game last night.
Yep. Drew, man, he's just had a bad week between his
I
Cowboys and his
know.
Blues, man.
I
Feeling sorry
know.
for my boy right now. The Ducks beat the Yotes 5-2.
Yeah, this was kind of the who cares game of the night. I mean, besides Trevor Zegras, who plays for the Ducks, he's only 21 years old, but he has some highlight reel goals. I mean, every single year he's been playing. But he's at a 6-game point streak right now. So he's at 10, and then 10 out of the last 11, he's at least 1 point. So he's looking really good. But other than that, there's not very many bright sides for either of these teams.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it at all, does it?
No, they're bottom
Then,
of the barrel.
yeah, then, of course, the Avalanche. Do they even look like the defending Stanley Cup champions? They won 3-2 over the Capitals.
Man, they're starting to, honestly, they're just now getting healthy. Ever since the beginning of the year, I think it was over 30% of their salary cap was on IR. And then at some points it was reaching up over to 45%, almost 50% of their IR, of their cap was all on IR. So that's all your big guys. The only bright spot for them has been Nathan McKinnon. He's on an absolute tear this year. He's actually, if you go, he missed a few games as well earlier in the year, but he's third in points per game, just right behind Mick Jesus and Draisaitl there. So he's doing really well. I mean, Ovi got a goal there too, which was nice. So he's got his 31st of the year. But yeah, I mean, they don't look the same, but they're getting healthy, and they're going to be scary coming down the end here because I think they're going to end up making the playoffs just by a hair, but we'll see.
Yeah. Then, of course, you have the Blackhawks and the Canucks 5-2.
Yep. This was Rick Tockett's, their new coach for the Canucks. They fired their coach just last week, and they actually kind of hung him out to dry for the last, I don't know, 3 months. They pretty much known that they were going to fire him, but they were just waiting to find a new guy. So that was Bruce Boudreau. So he got fired. Rick Tockett's in now. He was just on TNT. He's one of the guys in the booth there that were doing all the stuff talking. But that was one of those games last night where, new coach firing all that stuff, either like a death in the family. Usually that's a great game to bet. So I ended up taking the Canucks last night, which was good. But yeah, it'll be a little bit different. They all played a little bit harder, and they're actually on a back-to-back tonight. So we'll see how they do.
Now, tomorrow's your high stick Harry Hook, right? Is that what we're doing tomorrow?
Yep.
Are you still trying to
Yep.
figure that out? What you want to do? You kind of know who you're gonna use. You're just gonna wait till. Well, in fact, let's talk about the games today. You got the Rangers against the Leafs tonight at 6:00.
Yep, both these teams are. I mean, it's going to have a playoff feel, just like that game last night with Wild and Lightning. I think both these teams they're going to come out being very physical with each other. They don't really like each other. Lots of star power too. So this one's going to be a good one. It's probably, I'd say, the game of the night.
Yep. And the Islanders against the Senators at 6
Yep.
o'clock as well.
The Isles continue their free fall here, slipping out of the wild card. But the Sens, they're so unpredictable. You never know. And I mean, you can still string together, 7, 8, 10 wins in a row here, and you can still make the playoffs. But there's a bunch of teams on the fringe, but there's a lot of them that are really starting to lose it.
Yep, especially right there. Then, of course, my Stars at home tonight against those Canes.
Yep, this big measuring stick game. Both these squads are going to make the playoffs for sure. Both of them are, in the top, or if not the top two of their division all year. Jamie Benn's on a 6-game point streak for you guys, just like Sagan. Like I said last week, he's just now starting to earn that $9 million. And then Otter confirmed in net for the Stars. I just looked that up. So you guys got a good chance tonight. This should be a good one.
Yeah, we definitely got it. We definitely got to get that game tonight, man. Especially at home, and what the Mavs faltering their way is. Dallas needs something.
They need some Texas hockey. They need them to come back.
Yeah, they need something, brother, because I know it's kind of ugly for them right now. Then, of course, the Blue Jackets against the Oilers tonight at 8:30.
Yep. Oilers. I mean, they just like I've been saying, they got to keep winning here. They're still getting healthy. They got Evander Kane back, like I said last week. This one would make it 6 in a row. or no, 7 in a row if they win this one. So they're on a tear right now. This Blue Jackets team really stinks. I'd expect the Oilers to crush them here.
Yeah, let's hope. Let's hope that they crush them. We shall see
Yeah.
how that works. Then, last but not least, I got the Canucks against the Blue Jackets. The Blue Jackets can't play too. Who are the Canucks playing tonight?
They're playing the Kraken.
The Kraken. Oh, and I missed that. What the hell,
I
bro?
know. I was waiting for
What
you
the
to.
hell?
I
What
was
the
waiting
hell
for you
was
to get
that? I
juiced
missed
about
that deal all about. I mean, I can't be doing that, bro. I
it.
don't like that deal at all, man. I got to figure that out.
But yeah, the Canucks right here, they're on a back to back, like I said earlier, and they got their new coach, Talkett. So we'll see. You'll see how they do under their new systems. They're playing against a great team in the Kraken right now. They're playoff contenders. I mean, the Kraken have 18 more points in the standings than the Canucks. So I don't expect much, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping that they get that in. That is kind of my thing. So, what have you seen thus far? What is your take halfway through the season thus far in hockey?
Honestly, I'd say it's a little more surprising. Like there's a couple things like, I mean, I honestly this year at the beginning of the year I didn't have the Bruins making the playoffs. Different teams, I'd like the Panthers coming in. There's like a couple different teams that are not performing or overperforming. Like I didn't expect the Kraken to be where they're at. I didn't expect the Devils to be where they're at. The Avalanche, different teams like that. But it's been a really good year so far. A lot of these teams, like there hasn't been many. I think this Canucks coaching firing was the first one of the year, which in past years there's been 3, 4 at this time, sometimes 5, already. So it's been good that other teams have been steady. Some of these young teams that have really been awful for the last few years are actually starting to find their way, starting to find their level. Some of these pieces they've been, grooming over the last few years are now starting to, the fruits coming to fruition here. But other than that, I mean, I really like the parity in the league. There's only really like 1 or 2 teams that are runaways right now with their divisions. Other than that, I mean, there's only one, I guess, if you really want to point it that way. But the rest of them are everybody's in the same grouping. Like this playoff season is going to be the last 10, 20 games of the year. Every single point is going to matter. Lots of highlight reel goals, lots of speed. The fighting's been up another 18% or so this year than last year.
Dang.
And last year it went up, I want to say 20%. So in the last 2 years, it's gone up, I want to say right around 35, 40%. So
that much fighting?
I think I counted 5 fights last night, and that was just on what I saw. So there had to have been a lot more. So the game's kind of getting back to where it used to be with all this speed. They're starting to get some of these big guys that can do both. Like these athletes, just like in all these sports, they're starting to be big and fast and, smart and everything. So all these athletes are starting to come in a little bit bigger, just like they used to. Some of these small guys for about 5-10 years, they were starting to find their way, but those guys are just kind of starting to fall off again. So I don't know. It's been a really good season so far. I'm really excited for the end of the year here, especially with football being gone. I can focus a little more on it, so it'll be good for me.
Well, speaking of football, it's not gone yet, Ben. It's not gone
no, still
yet.
Got a few weeks left.
It's not quite gone yet. It's about there, but it's not quite gone yet because we're looking at the brackets. We're down to the final 4. The the Bengals at the Chiefs, the San Francisco 49ers at the Eagles. And did you see Patrick Mahomes walking today?
No, I didn't see the video of it.
Yeah, he stepped off the podium, and I was watching Collins Cowherd and Jason. He was like, "Do you see him? Most people step off with their right foot when they step off the podium. If they're right, I'm like, dude, I step off with it. Whatever foot is there. I don't
Depends
think
whichever
about,
my last one.
Yeah, I'm like,
whichever my last one took a step.
I mean, I don't.
Use the next one.
And he goes, well, most people use he stepped with his left foot not to put pressure on it. And I'm like, well, he stepped down the next step with his right foot and kept right on walking and didn't limp one bit, and he was out there on the practice field. So
what they need to do is go back, look at film, and see how many times he's walked off with
his left foot or right foot. Yes,
the same podium. Yeah, that's what he needs to do.
I mean, dude, have you ever thought about, unless I'm hurting, and then I'll slow down like when my knee was hurting. But other than that, dude, I just, whatever step it is. If it's left or right or left, whatever, I never even think about it.
Yeah. If my right foot was the last foot that I put weight on before I go down a step, then my left foot's going to be the next one I go down. If it's the opposite way, it's the opposite way. I just don't really know what to tell you.
Right. Now, of course, I haven't done the updated odds. It's still the old ones because now the Chiefs are a +2.5, or they were yesterday. I don't know what they. I need to do
Yep.
the up
I
and
saw
up.
him at +2.5, and then I saw the over/under at 46.5.
Yeah, and it dropped. So the over/under was at 47. Now it's 46.5, and then the Eagles -3
Yep. And
with the
I had the
over/under.
Eagles now at -2.5, and then the over/under was 46. That's what I
So
saw
it's
this
gone
morning.
up. So it's going to. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to do it because I was trying to
I don't
get.
know if it switched over again. Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's just going to be back and forth. I think. I don't. You know what I'm saying, Ben? I think it's just
Yeah.
going to go. I don't know who's going to do what, but what was your feel? What was your take from this year's playoffs? I mean, did
I
you
mean, these are
the only
these
the
these
only
are the
real
4 teams.
upset to I mean, other than New York beating the Vikings, which I believe the Vikings. I don't know if they would have given the Eagles a tougher game or what. I mean, I
Yeah,
I I,
I don't know.
I don't know because it's Kirk Cousins. Me, Dak Prescott, as I've always said, I was telling Drew and them the other night, I just don't trust Dak. I just don't. I mean, I really don't. I don't trust him.
Yeah.
And I said to me, he's a better version of Kirk Cousins. That's more athletic Kirk Cousins. I mean, I don't trust him. I mean, do you trust him?
No, I mean, I just don't. Ever since, I mean, I was watching ever since I saw him get injured that year. I mean, pretty much I haven't had much faith in him, and that's not his fault. It's not, it's just kind of one of those things. It's one of those deals that I think is really hard to come back from. And I don't think he's looked the same. That horrific injury he had, a couple years ago.
Right.
I mean, and it's not that he's like scared to get hit. He still gets out there and battles and does his thing just like he should. But I don't think he's been the same since then, and I don't think that I could really trust him. I don't know if he trusts himself, and I don't know what the problem is there because I feel like they have all the pieces, all the right. I mean, they finally got a defense after a few years. They were like the worst in the league for a few years there almost,
Yeah.
and then now they finally got a defense. They still, they still have Zeke. They still got, I wouldn't say a great offensive line, but top half of the league.
Yep.
Easily top 10, I'd say maybe.
Easily top 10, if not top 5.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean they lost a piece here and there, but I mean, and their guys are getting a little bit older. But other than that, I mean, I don't know with the receiving core, like if that might be. I don't think that could be the issue. It's got to be the quarterback. It's the only important, it's the most important position in sports almost.
But my problem with Dak is he's making the same mistakes with interceptions. They're out to the flats. I'm like, and he's late, and you cannot throw it out to the flat. Or out to,
I don't know if he needs
to the sideline. It has to be before the guy makes the break. The guy can't be turned and standing there. Then you throw the ball.
Yeah, I don't know if his drops too. Like if he needs to shorten his drop back. Like I don't know if he needs to shorten it by a step or I don't know what it is because you're completely right. He just gets jumped. Like all his routes get jumped. And he's usually not. Yeah, I mean, not very many balls does he throw are just like way out of line. Like usually they're on a decent line. He's just late. Like he's not throwing 10 yards over, 10 yards under. They're usually like in the vicinity. He's just late.
Yeah, I saw something that was like they were showing him bouncing because what the bouncing does is your counts. I'm like, well, I don't see Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes bouncing. I don't see them bouncing up and down 1, 2. I don't see them doing all that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like do whatever works for you, and clearly that's not working for
you. And it's like, and so he was sitting there watching. It was like, yeah, he's doing 1, 2, 3. Well, then it's too late to throw that ball there at that point, and he throws it anyway. And it's like, I just don't. And it's so funny is when you turn and you look. If you're looking, it's like, dude, what are you looking at? Because Mahomes threw a ball away in the dirt the other day that he was going to make the pass, and he saw the guy late, and he threw it down. He tried to tuck it, but it went down. But it's like,
changes.
But it's like, dude, if he's standing right there, why are you trying to throw the ball? If he's in your field of view, throw it away. So I don't really
I'm with you,
understand
Doug. I think he forces the ball a little too much, and there's different ways to go about it, and he can always change some of these things, and but I don't think looking at the iPad after every interception is going to help you. Sometimes you just gotta take it for what it's worth and suck it up and go out there and do it again.
Yeah.
I see more footage of him on an iPad than I have anybody else in my entire life.
Well, the problem is that he's always on there after an interception. Now, most quarterbacks are always on there, period. I mean, if you go look after every possession, they're usually on the iPad for a 3 and out, or not necessarily touchdowns, but if they go 3 and out or whatever, a pick, they're usually, okay, what happened? Here's what was seen. This is what did you, I'm sure they're asking, what did you see? This is what was there. What did you see? Because this is what the defense looked like. What were you looking at? What
Yeah,
didn't you
NFL's
see?
nice with the aerial footage ones. Those are great.
Oh yeah, because you can look at that and you're like, okay, here's the defense right here. What
Yeah,
made
it's
you
like
throw the ball right there?
yeah, and then you can see exactly where the guys are breaking, how they're reading you, all that kind
Everything
of
is
stuff. I think
right there. It's like so.
it's perfect.
Yeah, so it's not like you don't. It's like, why are you throwing that? And I think Jerry and Steven didn't want to pay Dak for a reason, but they got to the point where they had to buy him. What did Jerry say? Every time he's every time he overspent for something he really wanted or didn't necessarily want, overbought it, it didn't work out well or something like that or something he was saying. And I'm like, well, you did that for Zeke, which that was
Yeah,
crazy. You giving that money. He's over in Bahamas. Keep your ass over there. Don't get paid. It's costing you money by being over
yeah,
there. Stay over there. You want to be over there. And let's face it, it's when you pay them, it's just too bad. You know, when you pay them, it's just because the thing is this: the Bengals, they can't pay everybody. The salary cap's going up. You can't pay everybody.
yeah. They're gonna have some big decisions to
You
make
know, they're
coming up
talking
here.
about, well, Mahomes, he's a big hit. Well, yeah, but he took less, and traffic took so they could sign Travis. He took less so they could sign Chris Jones.
Well, and
But
the
they could
Bengals don't have the Bengals don't have a ton of
not. That's next year they have to
money.
sign. Well, next year
Yeah, no, I'm saying
they got one
not
more
even their
year.
salary cap. I'm just saying their owner. Like even if you wanted to, like how the Chiefs do, like do their contracts, they sign them over, and they'll pay you up front or
Well,
whatever.
he's actually spending money now, which is
Yeah,
not
well,
which he
they just
doesn't
now
do.
finally
Which he
just now
doesn't
finally
do.
got some sponsorships.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He didn't normally do that. He is now because he knows he has a chance to win something, and he finally gets it. So he's spending the money to do it. So because it's like, how are you sharing? How are you using a University of Cincinnati stuff? Now I see that the Steelers and Pittsburgh, and the University of Pittsburgh is sharing a facility because it's you're right there. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I mean, I see that, but you're using their facility. Now you're
well,
building your own. Now you're building your own, and
yeah,
it's
the
more like
Bengals.
yeah, it's more like Cincinnati. I mean, the Pittsburgh is using the Steelers. The Steelers are not
Yeah,
using Pittsburgh or the University of
yeah,
Pittsburgh.
yeah. The Bengals were having to like literally the team where they'd be in there and there'd be like a cross practice right before the Bengals would go out there. Then the Bengals would come inside and they'd have then they'd have women's field hockey practice like right after the Bengals.
It's stupid,
Like
dude.
that was insane. Like I could not imagine that.
No. It's just unbelievable how when
And
but
I know they said they finally got a cafeteria in there a couple of years ago.
yeah.
Carson Palmer said they used to have like the worst food ever, stuff like that. Like he was like, like they used to give us like, sack
Well,
lunches and
well,
stuff.
I
Now they
can
have
tell you,
chefs and all
I've
that.
eaten at Arrowhead, and I'm telling you, their training table is unbelievable, bro.
Yeah.
I've eaten there. I walked in, I was like, wow, yeah, what I mean, whatever option you basically want. You want
Yes.
fish, you want pasta, you
Smoothies.
want
Yeah.
smooth,
Yeah.
whatever you want. It's whatever you want is right there for you to eat. Whatever you're a vegan, they got vegan. Whatever it is,
Yeah.
they got it for you. I mean, that's how it should be. So
I'm just
that's
glad to
what
see Cincinnati finally spending some money, finally doing their guys right a little bit, things like
agreed,
that.
agreed, 100%,
And I
100%.
mean, Joey Burrow's 3-0 against Mahomes.
Well,
So I mean,
yeah, well, that first game, like I went back, I tell people that first game in Cincinnati last year, Cincinnati got three cracks. They got two holding penalties in the end zone to get
yep.
it in. Okay, so I'm like, okay, they
Refs
beat
kind
them
of
by
handling that
three.
one.
Yeah, I said then in Kansas City, Mahomes, he uncharacteristically, like to me, when right before halftime they were 21-3, and they whatever it is that they did, they didn't get a chance to get a field goal. Mahomes imploded, and then that just took on to the second half. To me, it's like, why are y'all being greedy? Take the 3 points and move on.
Yeah.
And that set the Chiefs back. This year, Kelsey doesn't fumble; they're driving. Like I tell people, everybody forgets. Kansas City was
Yeah,
behind.
they had
They
that game.
scored 3 touchdowns in a row. Joe Burrow scored two. Then they come back. Mahomes scores the third. Then Joe Burrow couldn't score. They get a field goal. Then the Chiefs are driving down, and Patrick Kelsey fumbles. Now, if they're up, what would have been 11 points? Okay, if I'm up 11 with 6 minutes to go, this game's over.
Yeah.
6 points, 11-point game. You got to have 2 scores in 6 minutes against the Chiefs. You're not winning that game. I don't believe it. So,
Yeah, and they had a lot of field to get to, so it was
yep,
like,
yep. Hey, what do you got going on tomorrow? You ready for tomorrow though, right? For
yeah,
your
I'm
high
pretty
stick
excited.
Harry, you gonna send that to me in the morning?
Yeah, I'll send it to you in the morning so you can get something going with it.
Sounds good. Okay, brother. I'm out. I'm gonna go. I gotta get to the gym. Started late today. Gotta get. I'm not gonna play against these little youngsters. You haven't seen me since I've been limping. My knee has finally gone down, Ben, so I can I have a slight limp instead of a
Yeah.
noticeable limp. And
Gotta be careful out there.
dude, I can't let those little suckers talk me into talking trash. I mean, I can't let them suck me into playing.
No,
That's
yeah,
my,
you got sometimes you just gotta show them you still got
yeah, but no, I don't need to do that anymore.
it.
Every time I do that, I'm hurt. So yeah, I'm not doing that again. That's why you didn't see me Saturday night, because I don't have to work Sunday, and that's normally I get
You're
to
like,
go out, but I'm like, I'm home. I'm not doing anything. I'm staying at home.
you're like,
So
nah.
yeah, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. But all right, brother. Well, be safe, my friend.
All right, buddy. You too. Have a good one. Cheers, boss.
And that was High Stick Harry, my guy Ben Dillman. Appreciate him coming on. And of course, our boy Drew Henthorne of HuskerDrewPicks.com is taking care of the girls, Amelia and Faith, today. So he's doing that. Didn't get a chance to come on. So that being said, I'm hoping everybody is going to have a fantastic day. Try to stay warm. All right? Try to stay warm. And remember, Thunder Hawks tonight at Paycom, 7 o'clock. Hope to see you all there.